ABC 7 News Brief.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Amy Van Patten with your
Tuesday,
ABC
July
7 News Brief.
15th started out like any other weekday morning for ABC 7 newscaster Amy Van Patten. After anchoring the morning news, Amy hit the streets to cover this story on animal rehabilitation.
Amy Van Patten, ABC 7 News.
But this particular Tuesday, at only 26 years old, Amy's life would forever change without warning.
It all happened very quickly.
While working out at the gym, Amy suffered a brain aneurysm. Other club members saw Amy slump over on one of the machines, and when she didn't sit back up, they called for help.
I thought maybe it was a sprained ankle. You walk over and someone is actually passed out, or not even passed out, unconscious, but their eyes are dilated and they're rolling back and they're gurgling, and you know that something's very serious.
Amy had slipped into a deep coma.
As they were actually wheeling Amy out, they said that she had stopped breathing.
An ambulance rushed Amy to the emergency room. Her husband, Todd, arrived a few minutes later.
She didn't have any responsiveness. She was in a deep coma, and they told me 50-50 chance of surviving.
Reality set in. There was nothing anyone could do. The hours passed. Still no improvement.
Everything is coming at you at 100 miles an hour. The first thing through your mind is, how long is it going to take for recovery? Is she going to recover? Is she going to make it through this? And then you start thinking, oh my God, we haven't even made it to our first anniversary yet.
Amy and Todd were newlyweds, married 9 months earlier. They had recently moved to Southwest Florida to advance their careers in television. It was a dream that appeared short-lived.
It is very unusual for someone who comes in what we classify as a grade 5 subarachnoid hemorrhage, basically deeply comatose, with almost no brain function. Very few people survive that.
Here's what doctors were looking at with Amy. Her aneurysm or blood clot burst in the back portion of her brain, causing massive bleeding. Dr. Seipert says Amy's aneurysm, seen in these x-rays, was one of the worst he had ever seen in his 26 years of practice. It would take a miracle for her to survive, and if she did, there would most likely be brain damage.
In fact, Amy was so sick when she came into the hospital, it is remarkable that she survived at all, because most people with that level of brain function do not survive that kind of a hemorrhage.
Then the break everyone had been waiting for.
I was holding her hand, and I was just talking to her and everything, and she squeezed my hand. It was at that point that I knew everything was going to be okay.
Amy is hardly out of the woods, but doctors say the quick medical response early on, Amy's young age, and good health all worked in her favor.
Doctors say Amy's working out had nothing to do with her aneurysm. To the contrary, the fact that she was here in a health club may have saved her life. Many of the people who were here that night have emergency medical training.
It's a night people at this gym and in this community won't soon forget.
Just showed you that every day is really, really a precious thing. It's a gift.
Emily Norman reporting for News 3. One step at a time, Amy Van Patten works to get her strength back. The air bike is just one of the many physically draining exercises she's tackling on the long and often frustrating road to recovery. 4 months ago, a brain aneurysm nearly killed this healthy 26-year-old TV news anchor. Her once broadcast-quality voice is now raspy, the result of a paralyzed vocal cord.
I had just seen a doctor that day and had a physical, and everything was fine. And then, boom, you know, out of the blue, this happens. Every day I think, why me? And how could this have happened to me? Like I said, I was healthy. I was young. You know, I had a great life.
The aneurysm hit without warning while Amy was working out at the gym. She survived the massive hemorrhage, but the bleeding in her head caused significant damage.
The problems we have on someone like Amy that's had a major bleed, we're operating on a swollen, angry brain. At the same time, we're trying to do microsurgery, working through little tiny holes to fix the aneurysm.
Amy survived 2 major brain surgeries. The trauma left her with a series of health problems, including double vision, balance, memory loss, and slurred speech.
Was Amy able to recognize these things?
Yes.
Speech specialist Maria De Leon taught Amy how to speak again.
With her age and her motivation, I truly, in my heart, feel that she will be 100%.
100% recovery is Amy's goal as well, but it is difficult. She's having to relearn even simple tasks.
There were days where I didn't want to get out of bed, but I knew if I didn't get out of bed today, I wouldn't get out of bed tomorrow or the next day.
Amy's also having to deal with giving up, at least for now, a promising career and letting someone else tell her emotional story.
The only regret I have is that I can't do this myself. I can't voice it.
It's during those difficult times Amy says she finds comfort and encouragement from her friends, family, and the community. She's received hundreds of cards, many from people she never even met.
Everything will turn out okay. I know you. You're too strong to stay down. Think of the future and strive to get back on your feet. Be patient and take it one step at a time.
Actually,
Amy's determination led her back here to the gym where she almost died.
he sat down and there was somebody else working out on the bench as well.
An employee walks her through what happened that night. Amy has no memory of it.
And honestly, I think I'm better off for not remembering that.
Gym members are relieved to see Amy back on her feet. Many didn't know if she had survived.
When Amy left here the last time, I thought it was the last time we would see her. But it's a miracle she's here.
And faith in that miracle is what kept her husband going throughout this horrible ordeal. Todd has been an endless source of strength for Amy, breaking down only once when doctors were forced to put her back on a respirator.
At that moment, that hit me real hard, real hard.
Through all the pain and suffering, there is a silver lining for these newlyweds. The experience has brought them closer together.
They say the first year is the hardest in a marriage. Well, if we can make it through this first year, well, I think we'll make it through anything.
Emily Norman reporting for News 3.